Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here, and we're going into the second War of Alliance War Season 36, which is technically the fifth war. We have Conduit on the map. Basically, if you knock these defenders down with a heavy, a light, or a special 2 attack, they gain energy debuffs, and then basically all damage is going to get almost healed, or almost all, 80%. Sick and Tired can counter that with applying in 3 or more debuffs, and you can heal block that. We are up against TCN this war. We faced them twice last season, and I got a bunch of fights on my plate, and really interesting matchups, a lot of fun, and we're going to go in and do our best, see if we can't be cleaner this war, because as we've seen in the past, at least last season, we got triple donated twice against TCN, who ended up, they were number 2 or number 3 in Masters, and then all of a sudden at the very end of the season they dropped down to Platinum 1. Not sure how that happened, but here's their map if you want to check out their defense. And as far as my assignment for Section 1, I'm going up Path 4. And this has Rintrah on it. Fought him last war. Thing is a fairly decent counter. He's not fast, but very, very safe. So this note's got steady build up Fury. If you get 3 or more debuffs, he'll get a Fury. Because it's got the heal block debuff on it. Basically, if you can't shrug that off and you get 2 of the weaknesses from being close, he'll have that Fury permanently for the whole entire fight. And the long distance relationship is what's going to give those weaknesses, and then the insult to injury. So one thing that I noticed in this fight is that, because like right there it did happen. I parried, I didn't get the stun. So, but I felt like it didn't happen that frequently. Granted, I generally stayed far away from him because I was just doing like a parry heavy attack method, and then I'd back off. My parries generally stuck, but the more debuffs you have reduced defensive ability accuracy, so those parries can fail. But you can, you can easily counter his special 1. At least with things heavy, you'd want to test it out with other champs heavies to see what kind of reach they have. But the special 1's really easy to just get out of range of, and you can retaliate with a heavy generally. And you just want to knock this guy down. If you knock him down, you get rid of his mystical charges. See right there, I think that I miss a parry. Yeah, I parried, it failed, and I didn't check to see that it stuck, and I went for a heavy, and he retaliated. I think that's the only time I get hit during this fight. But yeah, as long as you keep the mystical charges down by knocking him down with heavies and whatnot, you're pretty good. Because if you let him get to 10 or more, that's when he can start going, he can start putting ruptures on you, he can start to get, I think that's at 10, at 15, he can go stun immune, and then at 20, or I think maybe it's 10, you can go unstoppable as well. Unstoppable, unblockable, you can get all kinds of shenanigans. And if you're over in the corner, you can get rooted. So yeah, you want to stay in the middle of the field, away from your wall, keep his mystical charges down, and just get physical. So what I mean by that is, he has a really high energy resistance. So if you have a champ that just puts out physical damage, like Thing, you just punch him with big fists, then you can do some decent damage to him. If your champ relies on energy damage, then it's gonna be a little bit harder to get him down. So Rintrah goes down again, no problem. We have this Nick Fury. Now, originally I had this scheduled for somebody else, but we have a guy that's in our battle group that is overseas, and he had already went to bed by the time the plan went out. So I was like, you know what? I have the White Magneto. I was going to apply the guidance on this fight, but guess what? White Magneto can easily take the Fury. We were going to take this with an Omega Red, but White Magneto, I think, is just as safe and effective. Maybe a little bit slower, but you're gonna see this goes pretty quick. So this has the Ebb Flow Knockdown, so Once you knock him down, he's gonna go stun immune, or full debuff immune, but you're gonna get that Fury. It's got Bubble Shield and Power Focus 1, and with the passive stuns, you can get past that immunity, and basically I just do a couple of heavies to get the long prowesses, and then hope that I get some decent prowesses just in my combos. I have power back boost on, and yeah, we're gonna light this guy up here while the Fury is still active, get a bunch of power back, and then we're not gonna just totally let him drain down with the LMD, because we don't want those prowesses to be building up. And then here we can retaliate with the heavy, and I think we're gonna go straight into another special 2, and it's gonna hurt big time. 10k, 25k. I have no crits on that one, unfortunately. I think I end up here with 41k special 1. That one crit, that was nice. White Magneto, he can put out some really solid damage. Don't underestimate him as being an attacker and not just a pre-fight guy. So then next up we have a Conduit, our first Conduit defender for this war. It's a green Goblin, just a rank 3. And again, we just have regular boost on. We don't have any gray boost on. We did put on mutant boost for that last fight, but we don't need any science boost or anything like that. And then the main game plan here is, because Green Goblin is a Conduit, we do not want to knock him down with a heavy. We do not want to use a special 1 or a special 2, because otherwise that's going to put on the shock, the incinerate, the plasma. I can't remember the exact order, but Green Goblin isn't immune to any of those. If you knock him down and put that debuff on him, then he's going to be regenning 80% of the damage. He already does regen some of the damage just from his natural abilities. With having, I can't remember what the modes are called. It's like Cunning and Madness. Yeah, it's Cunning. Cunning's the green one, and that's the one where it can, I think it can heal, or it triggers the heal, or no, maybe it's it's the orange one that does the heal, and the other one does the reduced power. I can't remember, but I just know that he can heal back quite a bit. And so the whole game plan here is let him throw his special 1s, hopefully. Special 2s, I don't mind. There, we fully dexed it. Sometimes you can get kind of caught off guard with those, and then here we can safely throw special 3s. Special 3s do not trigger Conduit, so even though you're knocking him down and whatnot, it doesn't count towards a knockdown. Same thing with like Ebb Flow Knockdown. A special 3 does not count towards activating the Fury and disabling the protection shield. So here we got some nice damage coming off of that special 3 with those Furies. We do trigger the backup recovery, kind of wait it out. He doesn't get too much power, but he's back to over a special 2, and then we just gotta bait this out. And sometimes, I don't know, I feel like it's Green Goblin and Longshot. At least, I don't know, maybe it's just how I play them, but man, they get so stingy with throwing the specials. And so here I'm just kind of backed up against the wall, gonna patiently kind of sit around, parry, dex, there we go, thank you sir. Throws the special, and then we're just gonna hammer this dude out. And I think I end up finishing maybe with a special 2, just because I know he's like such low health that we can take him down without any problems. And I have 20 rock stacks here, so he will be stunned. Yeah, we just go for it, boom, 17k crit there, nice. So a little bit of a longer fight, but things super safe because he is immune to power snack, because he's immune to nullify. So there's really nothing going on except backup recovery on that node. We move up. Now I went to a pool party with my daughter, and at the party I had this black cat, and I thought I was recording, and I never started the recording, and afterwards I went to go shut it off, and I noticed I wasn't recording. This is the Ebb Flow Intercept Sadist node. I went in with White Magneto. I still had the 12% special boost on, but the power back boost fell off. That didn't really matter. As far as this fight goes, it was pretty much how I went about it. I didn't take any hits. It was just parry heavy, knock her down, take down her little combo shields because she's awakened, and then after I took enough of those down, I just got off a light intercept, made sure she didn't evade because she can't evade depending on how many of those combo shields are up, and then just throw some specials with the Fury, Ebb Flow Fury up, and she went down. I think I threw a special 2 and then like 2 special 1s or something like that. Nothing too difficult. I could like re-record like a duel or whatever, but it's not the same thing. But I did solo her without any problems, lost very little health. I just blocked her specials, didn't mess around with like trying to fully dex it because they got so many hits, and if you kind of get off rhythm, you can get kind of whacked around. But Magneto did a really solid job. She's not metal or anything like that, but Magneto is bleed immune, so really, really solid for dealing with this Black Cat. And you can see these are the boosts that I had active for that fight. I actually put on some small boosts just for this one fight to clear that, and then I moved up and then I just waited. So you can see there I got the full attack bonus, very little health lost on that Magneto. And then we're going to go up to this next node, node 37. So this one has again the Ebb Flow Intercept and then Mighty Charge. So I do apply a white Magneto guidance pre-fight on this so that I can get the passive stuns and hopefully try to bypass the Mighty Charge. I do put on a bunch of boosts, bigger boosts with the Science Power Back boost and all that stuff because I have 3 fights left, and this one and then 2 on the island. And they're going to be some fun fights, and they're going to be really interesting fights. Now, this one does not go well at the very start, so I go to parry, and I parry there thinking I would I don't know, eat a heavy. It triggered protection, didn't really do anything. I did get degen and stuff, but because I triggered protection, and then here I'm just trying to parry, and I don't know, it was like I just really have no idea what was going on. Like the white Magneto pre-fight there, it worked, but I swear I triggered the parry numerous times, and he wasn't throwing all medium attacks because there was times where he hit like 3 times in a row, so there had to be at least 1 light attack. But I get backed up in the corner. I'm like, dude, this is not good. This guy also has max MD. I'm getting hit. I'm triggering that Unstoppable. So he's getting MD. He's right above special 3. And we're a minute into this fight and barely done any damage because obviously you haven't intercepted him yet. And I'm just like, all right, can you just throw that special 2? Can I get out of this corner? And would you throw it when Falter's not going to be like coming right back up? And just over and over. So here I do get hit, trigger MD because of the Unstoppable. I manually trigger protection. He throws his special 3. I've already gotten degened from the heavy knockdown thingamabobber. The special 3 does nothing. Thing's protection is OP. But we're out of the corner. Like, thank you. Throw the special, and now it's go time. It is go time. Nope, it's falter time. Okay, now it's go time. We get a nice little intercept in the corner, and this is probably how it should have went from the get-go, but for whatever reason I just felt like my controls were all weird and whacked. I don't know. I'm not gonna blame the game. I don't know, I just felt like the white Magneto guidance pre-fight, I don't know, it just felt weird. It's whatever. We're back in the corner a little bit, but that's okay. He has little power. And then Beta Heavy, you know, we're going to be getting MD with like the Fury falling off and stuff. We're just blocking the special 2, being safe with that. We don't want to get degen from that. Falter again. Get some willpower healing. I guess that's the nice thing about that. And then we're going to get out of the corner. Try to go for an intercept there and did not connect clean. There, I do get it. We're at special 2, but Falter's coming up again. Fine, I'll wait. I'll wait to kill this ugly dude. And boom, finish him with a special 2. That's like 50-something K crit. Pretty nice. So definitely an ugly fight, but I tried my best to keep my cool, even though I got whacked around in that corner, and we survived. So we are going to have to put on a couple of health potions for that. I mean, technically the next fight that I use thing in, there's just one more. I could have done it without, but I'm not going that cheap for this season. So now this fight is an interesting one. We were debating on what to use for this Dr. Doom on Conflictor. So we're going to throw on another White Magneto Guidance pre-fight so we get the passive stuns to bypass Conflictor triggering. And then it's got Combat Deja Vu Prowess and Puncture Prowess. So we do not want to give this guy a bunch of Prowess. So we're going to be mixing up our combos. I do put on an Invuln boost. I still have the Science boost on. And basically it's going to be a parry, light, medium, light, medium. That's going to maximize the hits that I can put out. Doom, he's just Doom. He's super tanky. Crit resistance is very high. And there I was kind of waiting out the Puncture Prowess because Doom has some good block penetration. But as you can see, Yellowjacket, he's no slouch either. He has really high energy resistance and he has very, very solid physical resistance. I'm gonna actually look it up really quick. Yeah, he has as a rank 3, he has the highest energy resistance in the game, and it's by far higher than anyone else. As far as base resistance, it's 5,000. The next one is Jubilee at like 1,500 or something like that, and his physical resistance is 1,100. The next one is Karnak at 640. So he's a tank. He's tanky. Doesn't look tanky, but he's got it. We get a nice, not full dex, but we get a decent dex. We've gotten hit. We put on Invuln boost. Let's reduce some of that. We got Doom slapped towards the beginning, but that's right. Now here was the plan. The plan was to heavy. He's got a 2-hit heavy that will apply slow, and we applied the slow on the first hit, and then we go immediately into special 3. That's going to get the power sting on, and it's a permanent power sting that refreshes. Now my Yellowjacket is only Sig 20, so the chance that it's going to actually reapply and stay on is low, but you can see that it did. It does trigger the Conflictor though. It was on cooldown for both of those. I just was not ready for that special 2 from the power gain from Conflictor. Did get hit. Again, really high energy resistance. So even though I got tagged with all those furies, it's good. And then you look at this. The damage that I take is 26. I'm willpower healing for 118. So I've been getting I kind of got a little rattled with getting hit by that special 2, and I'm going to actually miss a number of L1 dexes at the end, but I am willpower healing. Normally you get those shocks and you're going to be taking pretty decent damage. Now the one thing that would have made this fight go even better and faster is if I hadn't missed a number of these L1 dexes at the end. I would have entered Meltdown probably in extra time, because every time that Doom steals, you control Yellowjacket's power, he loses some of his core charges, and you want to get above 100, and then you enter the Meltdown. There, we got a decent. We redeemed ourselves with a dex there, but I think I'm gonna get hit just a number of times here, and that's gonna prevent me from getting to Meltdown again, because Meltdown, you can do a lot of damage just even tapping into the block and stuff. And this fight's going long. Again, it would go faster if I would stop eating the special 1, which I generally, that's what I prefer to dex, and I usually don't have any problems with it. But yeah, and then we just got to watch out on these shocks. It's interesting that the shock from the Nullify was ticking harder than the shock on the L1. I guess maybe the damage potential is different. Here we go into Meltdown. I didn't want to go straight in because I didn't want him to Doom slap me. And I should have just kept hitting him here because I was in Meltdown. I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, meh. And then I just go for it. Get a couple hits into the block with Meltdown, get some of that energy damage, and I'm like, okay, this special 3 better kill this dude, because otherwise he's going to get Conflictor coming out of it, and he might be at special 3. but he's dead. So Yellowjacket, obviously you can do a better job than I did and not get hit as much, but he does a great job for that fight. Just have a white magneto guidance on it and you're good to go. And then we're going over to this node 54, aspect of evolution, unblockable, special 2, improved power gain, special 2 bias, all the stuff that can kind of make Longshot a little bit scary. It's a rank 4, and I went into this fight assuming this guy had MD. And you're gonna find out that this guy doesn't run any MD, which I was like super surprised with, because I know TCN, they do a lot of mastery swapping and all that kind of stuff. I thought at least for defense. I know they do it for offense, because I know they go for like killer fast times. And as you can see, at least with me specifically, I really don't give a darn about how fast the fight goes down, as long as it goes down with a full attack bonus. That's what matters the most. And as I've mentioned before, Thing is a very solid, not fast, but very solid and effective counter for Longshot, because his special 1 and special 2 does nothing to Thing. Even in Pure Heart, both specials do nothing to Thing. If you get hit with a special 2, or he throws a special 2 with Pure Heart active against Thing, it's actually not even a bad thing. You actually get the first incinerate. You don't get any of the other incinerates because he's nullified, immune to nullify. You actually heal from the special 2 in Pure Heart. But here, so I think we get probably around 30% or so when I finally realize that this dude is not running MD. So you can see, like right here, I triggered Dex, and I'm trying to bait this out because I'm like, oh, if I throw it, he's going to shoot up power. And then here I hit him, no MD. And maybe it was right around there. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. This guy's getting 0 MD. I should have been playing a little bit more aggressive. Granted, I probably should have tested it out early on the fight just to confirm. Usually I do that, but I was like, it's a rank 4 on the island. It's going to have MD, and it's going to be high. But here I'm just waiting this out, trying to get him to throw a special, because if I throw the special 3, I'm not sure how much power is going to give him with the aspect of evolution. So here we get a special 3 under the stun, perfect damage, and this does a decent chunk. Let's see how much damage it does and how much power we get back from our boosts. It's a decent chunk there. 43k, almost a full bar. Not bad. Not bad for, you know, the slow but very beautiful Mr. Thing. You know, aspect of evolution, it's getting a little bit crazy, but it's not a big deal. Again, Thing is like immune to death against Longshot pretty much. Just don't get L3. L3, you'll come out getting stunned. They'll probably trigger protection, but boom, there we go. Knock him out. So we cleared all of our fights, all the attack bonuses. Were they fast? The Magneto fights were pretty fast. The other fights, a lot of time on the clock, but you know what? When you don't die, that's hard to counter on the other side. So, time doesn't really matter. So next up, I go and place a guidance pre-fight on that Galan, and I'm like, it didn't show up, and then boom, there it is. So, and then here is our Galan counter. It's a Tigra. Demps going in with his rank 4 Tigra. He can do some great things with her. We have some solid players in our alliance that like to use Tigra quite a bit, and they're pretty dang good at it. Now this fight, Galan is a Conduit defender, so you can see that he got the shock, he's got that plasma on, gonna get another knockdown, now he's got the cold snap. You can see that he's regenning a lot, but the ruptures can really get around a lot of the damage, heal. And one other thing that you can do, which Demps didn't do because we hadn't discovered this or talked about this much, and it was thrown around in a Tiger chat, that the special 3 of Tigra puts on like a permanent rupture, and it like enhances the damage and kind of like gets refreshed and all kind of crazy shenanigans. But it basically amps up the damage that Tigra can do, and while it doesn't like shut off the global or anything like that, it pretty much helps to mitigate a lot of the healing that happens that you're seeing right now. Because normally in a normal Tigra fight against a champ that can't heal like this, they'd already be dead. So it's just a lot more cycles. Bait the special ones, bait the heavies, retaliate with a heavy. So you see he's trying to bait the special one. Is he gonna throw it? There we go. Dash in, and then just that one. The true sense was up, so he couldn't do the heavy into a miss because he would have gotten whacked. So you do have to keep in mind of that. So he can get a like true passive, or that's not a passive, a true buff something or other that basically bypasses miss. So as long as you keep an eye out for that. And there's a lot. And on the boss node, you got the physical and the energy resistances. You got the passive true strike. He's got his planetary mass stuff going on. You got the ruptures going, the neutralize, and then all the debuffs from the knockdowns. There's a lot to keep in mind, like right there. So he missed the true strike, true sense, whatever coming up, and he got hit. He was running an invuln boost. He does have mystic boost on, so he's getting a decent amount of power back on these specials. You can see he threw that special too and got well over a bar, I think, back. Now here he does push him to special 2, does a nice little block dex. Now he throws a special 3. Had he thrown the special 3 earlier on in the fight, I think this fight would have gone probably a minute faster. But it's a pretty easy fight to counter Galan with. Maybe even more than a minute, because we're coming up on 3.5 minutes. Yeah, maybe two to 2.5 minutes. I think Fintech, I don't know that it was against a Galan. It might have been against a different defender. Fintech's in New Nation, really cool dude, good friend, and a chat with him, and he does some awesome work. So nice job on the boss solo, but we had a ton of 9 deaths, and they were all single deaths, and we had a lot of mess ups. There were a couple assignment issues with how some interactions worked that we weren't anticipating. We didn't do well at all in any of the battle groups. TCN did great. They died twice. They actually died this war against us. We didn't get triple donated, which was nice. But yeah, they won, so good job to TCN. As far as my fights go in this war, 7 fights, 7 kills, no deaths. I'm at 13 fights on the season, 13 kills, 0 deaths. We're 0-2, so not good, but we've played against 2 really solid opponents of JA and TCN. And we've learned our lesson on a few things, and going forward, I think the results that we're going to be putting out are going to be significantly better because our plans will deal with all the changes that Kabam made last minute with this global. So look forward to the next war. It's gonna be a nice one. And then as far as my items go, used quite a bit. I had to boost 3 separate times for this one. I probably could have boosted twice, but I just threw on some little boosts to kind of move up and get through that black cat fight. Unfortunate potions that I had to use because I got whacked around on that maw. Almost 100,000 estimation in loyalty cost. Now again, this is estimated because some of these items, like those heals, I've had since compensation, so they really didn't cost me anything, but I'm still giving them like a 20k loyalty cost. And then I'm up to 141,000 estimate as far as loyalty cost for the season. Added 4 fights to Thing, 1 for Yellowjacket, 2 to White Magneto, and fighting a bunch of mystics, and yeah, getting some action with the White Magneto. I love White Magneto. He is a solid attacker. I think he's often overlooked. I mean, mutant class is very strong, but he is a great champion. So don't overlook him. and had fun with that Doom fight with Yellowjacket. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.